This is Nigeria. This is Nigeria.
That will help, keep everyone on their toes and make sure that everybody stays accountable. So we are still asking the minister, and we should spread that net to other people who have answers that the people need to hear.
Indeed. All right, well, that's one story we're looking at on the round table today. You might join us on Facebook. I will find out from Winga if we're up on Facebook. But yeah, we'll be streaming live on Facebook and YouTube if the network permit at Nigeria Info Abuja. And there's going to be Somi and I on the round table with you. So feel free to call us and share your take with us on these stories, and I would love to get your perspective. Now, this one is, when we get into this territory, it gets a tad controversial. And it's like treading on eggshell, because anything that has to do with religious beliefs are usually pretty sensitive. But it's also something that, we have a legislation in Nigeria, for example, that forbids any form of same-sex relation. 14 years imprisonment if they can prove beyond reasonable doubt that you engage in such activity or that you intend to or participate. I mean, we've seen places like Delta State where even though the police were criticized, they rounded up some young men who they said were going for a wedding. We've seen report of that coming out of Kano also, where arrests were made some time back because the suspect that they engage in this sort of practice. I know that Nigeria is one of those countries years back when it was debated at the National Assembly and it became a legislation and a law for us in the country. They were like, what would they do? But we didn't, aside from, the criticism from the Western world as to human rights, freedom of sexuality and all of that, we got away to a certain extent from their radar. Uganda was the country, I think it was Uganda that came up with some stiff penalty, and the UN, even the World Bank was saying, no, we're going to cut funding because of this and all of that. So the Pope bringing this whole issue of bless or not to bless has been one that has also gained some traction in terms of conversational traction in Nigeria and around the world. And lately, just to add some development, he expressed confidence that those who criticize this decision to allow blessings for same-sex couples come to understand over time, except for Africans. There's an exception. And it made me smile when I saw this. A friend of mine sent it. I went through the deal of the right of except for Africans, whom he referred to as a special case. Right to the report that Pope Francis stated that Africans perceive homosexuality negatively from a cultural perspective. In an interview he had with an Italian newspaper, an interview with an Italian newspaper last time that was published Monday, those who protest vehemently belong to some ideological group, a special case for Africa. For them, this is something bad from a cultural point of view. They don't tolerate it. But in general, I trust that gradually everybody will be assured by the spirit of this year's supplicant declaration by the Dicastery for Doctrine of the Faith. It aims to include and not divide this one. Vatican document, there's no need to, there's a talk to that what document is called. I love the blessing for Same-Sex Couples Act, Worldwide Day in the Catholic Church and around the world. I know that the bishops and the Catholic body in Nigeria put out a statement. This is not a part of us. We do not condone this. And so we're trying to explain what he meant. Not to wed, but to bless them to present themselves. And it's all about semantics. It gives the impression like this is not approved. And a lot of people are Africans. I'm glad that he knows where we stand here.
But the
challenge, correct even culturally.
Yes, what he said is that Africans have a problem with it culturally, but that you would expect that coming from such a religious authority as himself, which is the Pope, he should also be speaking from the moral context as well. I think it's not just a cultural thing for Africans, as he put it. It's just boils down to morality as accepted in certain parts. Okay, yes, we know there are different faiths, different beliefs, and all of that. But for it became almost like gaining too much traction and became almost the fad. Everybody think it's cool in the Western world and giving it all kinds of human right face and acceptability. And some countries are building that wall to saying, hold up, we're not going to let this come here. We're going to legislate against this. And that's what you've seen with quite a number of African countries, even Russia. I mean, a lot of Western countries are antagonistic towards Russia for their stands as to this. Russia is saying, see, we're not going to send you to prison or anything, but we're not going to allow you to promote propaganda around this and make it sound sellable and cool for young people and the likes of it. So that was also greeted with some bit of, hostility from some countries. Are like, no, now, not in this modern time. Or Russia says, no way, it's not going to happen here. I said more of religion. If we say culture, it means that you can waive the place of religion. Both major faiths that is practiced in the country apparently frowns on it. Well, it is indeed a controversial one, especially when you even go further into the statement that he was making, going, trying to still explain where it's acceptable and where it's not acceptable. I think a statement there was made saying that this blessing, which the Pope is approving of, should not be included in regular church ceremonies. But then where else would you do the blessing, for instance? I know people would argue, there was a conversation a couple of weeks back.
Maybe a civil court in a state where it's approved.
But who is going to perform the blessing?
If a state, for example, in the places where it's approved in perhaps the Western world and maybe some Asian countries, or maybe, for example, South Africa, you get wedded in the court. It mustn't have a religious face. Besides, the one that is really legal binding when it comes to marriages is that civil certificate you get from the court. But
you see, the thing is, when you use the word blessing, you are bringing the religious
that's why it's controversial.
Connotation into it. And then you now say this blessing would not be included in regular church ceremonies. It still means that whoever is going to do the blessing is probably a religious authority.
Yeah.
Let me use that word, religious authority. But where then would they go and do it outside of the regular church activities? So many angles.
The explanation, I think, even from Catholic bishops put out a statement some time back, like, it's not even going to happen here. And I think the Pope recognizes it and trying to put it under cultural, maybe another layer of why it cannot happen here in a hurry is to say, they must have seen the letters from here now.
They would have.
Like, dear Pope, I bring you greetings from a basket of love. Kolewek. Not yet.
I write to you with my pen of... dear Lord.
Yeah. All right, then. So he's saying gradually the world will accept it. Maybe the far future, maybe not. Well, that's what it is and what he's talking about. And let's throw one story in, just to open up the phone line to get your input on the two stories we're looking at. Remember, we're following up on the Minister of Women Affairs as to where we are with the UN case. She's promised to sue the UN if they do not apologize or own up to collecting money on our behalf. And we're asking, Madam Minister, where are we with that particular case? We're still waiting. And also the acceptability of same-sex marriage. The Pope is saying, well, looking at it from the cultural perspective, Africans are not in a hurry and will not be accepting it anytime soon. And it sort of settles it for us in Africa. We can move along, right?
Yes.
Get back to other business and allow others who do not have any cultural inhibitions to go ahead with their business. No pressure here. And we will talk about the ECOWAS situation at the 5 o'clock hour. Keeping my fingers crossed that Brighty Bitoye will be able to join us for that conversation. So that will be the crux of our discussion at the 5 o'clock hour, where we have countries like Niger, Mali, Burkina Faso saying they're withdrawing from the ECOWAS, the regional body, as a result of, how the body stands on the coup d'etat that has happened in these countries, and the hard measures that has been taken by ECOWAS leadership and ECOWAS generally. So important question is, what does this do to ECOWAS if you're losing about 3 of your members? This was set up many years back, decades back in the 70s, for this sort of free flow of movement, of business, of commerce, of enterprise within the ECOWAS sub-region, and to allow for a bit more connectivity, which a lot of countries have benefited off of. I mean, we used to have this ECOWAS passport that was recognized in the entire region. Even if you don't have your international passport, you have the ECOWAS, you can move from Nigeria to any ECOWAS country, do your business, stay there for a bit, and then return back to the country. But even that itself is being greeted with some resistance in some countries to saying, no, we're not going to allow it. And now 3 countries are saying, we don't even want to be a part of this setup anymore. Because they had a coup d'etat and the military took over, they're trying, in their own words, trying to liberate themselves from the strings of the France, that has, when they talk about neocolonialism, it's still pretty strong in Francophone countries.
Yes,
so
it is.
they said, we're getting ourselves out of their reach at this point in time. And, the move by ECOWAS, particularly in Niger Republic, where they said we're going to march into Niger, they were going to forcibly remove the military junta, bring back, and demanding that the civilian administration return, the democratically elected leadership return, and constitution returned, has been greeted with so much resistance, if I may put it mildly. Even the French were sent back in their embassy in Niger Republic. They had to cut electricity and water just to chase them out. That's how serious. And we're seeing the gang up of all the military heads of this country saying, let's withdraw from ECOWAS. Is it going to do the region any damage? Are they even significant in the scheme of things? Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso. And how does it even affect us? We share a border with Niger. At least Benin Republic is still there, so we're not trapped in. Some people are worried that if all our neighbors decide to pull out, but Cameroon is not making threat. Benin Republic, Chad is not a part of it, even though, Chad is good. So nothing to worry for Nigeria, but is there anything to worry about for the region? That is part of the conversations we would have at the 5 o'clock hour also.
Well, you have our president, who is the chairman of the ECOWAS at this point. So one way or another, the decision by these three countries to pull out will bear on him to some extent. So, of course, conversations will have to be had in that regard. I did hear that there was a response of some sort from the presidency, because a number of people were saying, it's the fact that our president, when he became chairman and all of that, and he didn't necessarily manage the situation very well, and that's what has led to these things. But they've come out to refute that claim. But we hope that they do more than just refute the claim and see what they can do to bring them back. As a matter of fact, I think ECOWAS themselves also responded to say, look, we are not officially aware. They can't just say they will pull out like that. There's a time frame, and all of that. So I'm sure we'll get into all those conversations properly in the 5 o'clock hour. But the most important thing is, what impact does it have on the grand scale?
Yeah, what impact? So let's open up the phone lines. Let's get your opinion on the stories we're looking at. 0700 951 0000, or you can call us on 0809 5974869. You can also reach us via WhatsApp on 0809 9930137. Complaint audio on Facebook. All right, we'll get that sorted in a bit. Please bear with us. Okay, let's hear this caller. 30137.
Hello, Kim.
Welcome. Good afternoon.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine and well. Welcome.
Thank you. This is Mazi Destiny Anthony.
Welcome, Mazi.
I sent message earlier. I said I hope I will have opportunity to contribute on this issue. Kim, I don't know why we feel that our problem in this part of the world is those who are doing gay and lesbian. I do not know why. With all the problem that is going on, why are we focusing on what is really not our problem? Why are we focusing on what is really not our problem? For me, this is my personal position. I have nothing against those who it's their preference. But in this country, Kim, how strong is our law and how loud is the voices of those who are saying no to gay? What are they saying about rape? What are they saying about little girls, minors, being taken into marriage? Why is their voice silent? When it now comes to gay and lesbian, two adults,
No, but Destiny, would it be correct to say voices are silent about these issues that you've highlighted? We do have a legislation in the country that prohibits, violence against persons. Even the Child Rights Act, you see that it's something we're still contending with. Yes, you cite example with Katsina that's passed it and giving that legal room for minors. It's a work in progress, but they're not silent. It's not a perfect legislation. We're not there yet, but we're not silent still in Nigeria about this issue.
You're right. But the energy they are putting on this day one, is it not better to protect our little girls, 12, 13, 14-year-olds? Is it not better for us to protect them until they are of age to make decisions they want to marry or they don't want to marry? Is it not better for us to use this energy that we are putting in the gay thing to protect the little girls, minors? Then stop those who are, raping people. Is it not better for us to use that energy than the way we are dissipating it on the gay and lesbian thing? People are adults. You can't deny the fact that even in this context, there are many of them who are lesbians and gays. That is their preference. So morality on this, I don't want to laugh because if I go deep, they now say that because I'm an atheist. You are bringing morality into it. I take the position of Pope. I support him. By the way, the council of our organs who are saying they are writing Pope You are telling the head of the organization, is it not better for you to pull out from the church and then form your own?
Okay, Destiny is you perhaps do not know how religious organization work. Say you've already said you are native, so we understand where you're coming from. You just pull out just like that. The Pope is not infallible. He's man also. He can't.
I understand. But that he doesn't have resistance from other parts of the country. Where he's having real challenge is in Africa and the few European countries like you mentioned, Russia. That's where he's having real challenge. Do you understand me? I see that as the head. I don't think that he came up on his own. He must have discussed with other heads to also say, let's allow these people.
All right. We get you, Destiny. Sorry, we're trying to adjust the audio quality. Some people are complaining on Facebook, but your point is noted.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mazi Anthony has given us his 2 cents on this. We appreciate. Let's hear all the thoughts. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon. Hello.
Your connection is poor. You'd have to call us back, please. All right.
Hello. Hello.
Hello. Good afternoon.
Yeah, my name is Jerry.
Welcome.
Yeah. Kim, you see, I support Destiny. That it has reached the time where Catholic Church in Africa will pull out from a Roman Catholic. In Russia, you give example. They are practicing also Catholic Orthodox, and they are not aligned with a Pope in the Vatican. Remember the time of Pope Ukraine war, Ukraine and Russia war. Pope went there, but the Pope in a bishop in Russia say, Mr. Man, we are not supporting you. Our own Catholic orthodoxy is not the same thing with you. We are not supporting. We know what is happening. Also in Egypt, there is a Catholic Orthodox in Egypt. They are not allied with Roman Catholic. You understand? So I can see that it has reached time where all African Catholic will pull out from Rome, because this thing is not helping us. It's not helping us. Honestly, I support Destiny for what he's saying. Just the last comment. We are not, me and a Catholic, we are not supporting when he read that stage. Honestly, Africa Catholic have to pull out from that Roman Catholic. Honestly, that's my take. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Hello.
Good afternoon, my sister.
Good afternoon. Welcome.
My name is Kelechi.
Good to have you here, sir.
I'm calling from Kuwa.
All right.
This is a very sensitive issue, lesbianism and what we call it. Let me tell you, anybody who wants to make contribution on this issue should be very careful. Many young minds are listening to this. Because of rape is there, then you would downplay lesbianism and homosexuality in a country like this that has never even gone anywhere. We're not even having any root. Let alone if we follow the West in everything they do, we will collapse completely. If anybody wants to support it, go to your religion class and support it, not on this popular radio. Rape is there. We are fighting rape. Then they want to go child user and child act, whatever is there.
Child Rights Act.
Everybody knows that Nigeria is not. Then that does not mean that we will come and say that every effort that we put to support same-sex marriage in Nigeria is welcome. There is nothing anybody will come and counter it on this radio. And everybody who is contributing to this issue on this radio should be very careful. Think very well before you come to this public to begin to abuse people's minds.
All right. That was taking a little personal, but we get your sentiment on this particular one. Thank you very much. Let's hear another caller. Remember, you can call us via WhatsApp also, 0809-9930-137. The number to call, or as much as you try your hands, reaching us on 0700-951-0000. Let's look at some comment. Top where we see you. Thank you very much. And if Niger Republic, Mali said they're pulling out from ECOWAS. One may ask what may have been their contribution for all these years. It's a good one for them to pull out of the region. Bookman from Airport Road cannot be bothered with the decisions coming from these countries. Anyway.
Hello, good afternoon.
Hello?
Yes, good afternoon. Oh dear, we lost him.
Okay. Is there a particular reason why you changed your mind? Okay. Sorry about that. Let's see here. Oh dear, it's clashing.
Okay.
All right.
Hello, good afternoon. Hello, can you hear us? Good afternoon. Okay, your line is not too clear. Do you want to maybe move around a little bit so we can hear you better? Oh dear.
Oh dear. All right. The connection, our device, you guys just reach us via WhatsApp only. I think WhatsApp is the clearer one, or you can try
Let's try this one.
0809 5974 869.
Hello, good afternoon. We can hear you.
Good afternoon, Sonia and Kimberly Abubakar from Wagwalada.
Welcome.
Thank you. Of what benefit is ECOWAS? Have we experienced any economic giant ride among the ECOWAS nations? It is just gathering of step-acclaiming dictators, people, leaders who perpetuate themselves in power, amending constitutions of their various countries. They never check on themselves. So, and any country, an independent country, can assert independence. They can pull out. They can pull out. Personally, I want to see some countries of the world even pulling out of the United Nations, because with kind of international aggression, genocide, if you talk Ukraine, Russia, what is happening in Gaza, Sudan, living of human lives. The end of all these global bodies is to prevent war, to prevent escalation of tension. But with this organization, what is happening? Destruction, losing of human lives, a lot of things happening globally. So they have lose their answers. It's better we see a new dimension. A new social order should come across the globe. Thank you. That is my take.
Hello, Kingo Wachukwu.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Welcome.
Weather, how is work?
Very well, thank you. How are you?
Fine. This is Obanshi calling from Central area here.
Good to have you here.
Yeah, I want to comment on this issue of Niger and Mali and Burkina Faso pulling out of ECOWAS. Well, it's a welcome development. I don't see any development in ECOWAS. Them, they are very good in condemning when things are going wrong. They never come in to intervene or to make the region to be like this is what we form ECOWAS and the organization to we who are in the ECOWAS. This is what we are doing. What are the other countries who are not in ECOWAS? Are they not better than ECOWAS countries? They are better than them. So it's better to them to pull out of it. And here is the cause of them pulling out of this. Why should they be insisting that they must invade Niger? For what reason? Is that the way to go about it? And they went out to cut their light and everything of them. Is that how to do things? So the chairman of the ECOWAS is Nigeria president. So this thing is happening under his own watch. So he never finished the problem is in his own house and he went outside. So it's him. Everything is under his table. Power is under his hand. Knife is on his hand. Let him cut the yam, cook it and eat it as the way he wants to do it. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much.
Okay, keep your comments coming, but let's throw in the last story here. And over the weekend, this particular story got a lot of Nigerians talking, particularly on X, where even the FCT Internal Revenue Service had to jump in to saying, happy birthday, madam. However, we want you to come and do your tax clearance and all the necessary paperwork of your tax return when you return back from Grenada. The FCT Internal Revenue Service has asked Abuja-based socialite Aisha Chimugu to provide detail of her annual tax return to the agency. They've deleted it since, though. The FCT IRS had reached out to the socialite to avail the agency of a tax return. It said the FCT Internal Revenue Service extend their warmest birthday wishes to you. May this special day be filled with joy and blessing. But remember to fulfill your tax obligation by filing your annual tax return. The move by the tax agency came on the heel of a viral report of how she partied with friends and cronies on the Caribbean island of Grenada to mark her 50th birthday. A dedicated website for the 7-day birthday party included information regarding visa arrangements, available chauffeur, travel schedules, the nearest airport to the event venue, among other details for the guests. And the birthday party was reportedly attended by high-profile names, including the governor of Lagos State, Babajide Sanwo-Olu. However, the governor in a statement countered claim that his visit to the Caribbean island was to party with Chimugu and her cronies. The Lagos State government released photos of Sanwo-Olu in Grenada presenting a miniature of the Blue Line train to Grenadian Prime Minister Dicol Michel. The government on his X handle said the presentation was made after talks on bilateral relations between Grenada and Lagos State in St. George at the weekend, and saying it was not about the birthday. We went there for business. It said the two leaders exchanged ideas on tourism, agriculture, and other economic interests. Sanwo-Olu also attended some social engagement, including his visit. Michelle spoke about Grenada's 50th anniversary coming up in February. Chimugu's guests were reported to have camped, some deluxe island, 80-acre private exquisite location that cost about $122,000 per night. Those familiar with the event alleged organizer rented the island for 7 days, amounting to about $924,000 in total, in addition to other charges. And the festivities commenced on the 16th of January with the arrival of guests. He ended on the 23rd with all-white breakfast, culminating in a luxurious dinner-themed glitz and glamour before guests bid farewell to Grenada.
I think the most interesting thing about this report is the fact that the socialite herself is not apologetic about how she celebrated her birthday. Not at
all. She went all out.
She went ahead to say Nigerians should expect more.
Ooh.
Yeah, she said Nigerians should expect more. She's a managing director of a company based here in Abuja, and with all the attention and everything she's been receiving, even from the FIRS, she was like, oh, I'm the most popular person in the world. I love it. Nigerians look forward to more. We just hope that with all that bravado, if indeed the FIRS does follow up.
It's one thing to huff and puff until you're invited. I mean, better I do humble picture or sitting in one corner. But there are people who have honest to God businesses and legitimately wealthy in this country. You can actually boldly tie their wealth to, a productive line of business or service in Nigeria. I'm going to play the devil's advocate here and feel free to do that.
The kind of wealth that calls for renting out a place that costs $924,000 a week, that kind of wealth, okay.
Sometimes people a bit upset with this kind of report when it breaks, because we're looking at a country where the critical mass of the population are struggling. It is still the poverty capital. You still have densely populated people who are living under, $1.99 in Nigeria. Mm-hmm. And to see that kind of lavish show off and lifestyle, at least you did good. Was considerate enough to take it outside Nigeria so that they will not shut down the entire city. I took it far away to only people. Very, very thoughtful of her. Let's make it a destination birthday party. Those who can afford, you need to be in that tight circle and be able to pitch in a bit to attend that kind of birthday so that we don't see it. It's just that it's in a connected world with social media and pictures flying over the place and promoters trying to just rub it in our faces. That's what we're saying. It could easily have just been a private, birthday with just close friends and family, and would never have known about it. And I promise you, it will still not have affected our stock market. But now that we know
Even now, will it affect your stock market? I think she was very intentional in the way she went about celebrating it. The most important thing is, should there be any, follow up?
Naturally.
As regards the intentionality she put into it.
We want to know, yes, you have your business, but we also need to know that you're paying your taxes, even though FCT deleted it. But it'd be nice to see where she is in terms of her paperwork. Because if you spend so much money, in my head, I'm already helping you to compute how much you earn. Like, what's your tax bracket, man? It feels like I shouldn't even breathe amount in the same space where she stays at the moment. So they need to follow up on that in terms of our PayPal, because we do have a lot of people who are making so much off Nigeria and they don't pay enough taxes.
Well,
we need to be sure she's doing it. And as long as she does have a legitimate, honest-to-God business and not ripping off Nigerians, enjoy your money. I can't tell a rich man how to spend his or her money.
It's the fact that the FIRS deleted the tweet for me.
Perhaps somebody has called somebody to say
that. Yes, so that should already help you answer some of those questions.
Sometimes, some of these, who knows who the handlers are, they get excited and carried away with things happening. Like, for example, when the lady woke up and said, she cooks for husband at 4:30, NNPC say we're giving 200K voucher. That was perhaps a decision they made high up there before they tweeted it. But you can always see how agencies and bodies want to jump on a trend.
In this case, I'm not sure that was
so. Could it be they're just jumping on a trend because everybody's talking about it? So might as well just be smart about it and ask her to come and file her tax return.
What would that do? If not just give people, more hope. It's good. The FIRS is doing good work, following up on these kinds of people. I think it's good PR for them to have put the tweet out.
PR. They shouldn't have deleted it anyway.
Exactly. Therein lies the question.
It's good PR for them to say, we're watching you. If you spend a lot, videos coming about spending of dollars and all of that, let's be sure that you're giving back to the country that's made you so wealthy at the end of the day. So let's hope that in spite of the deleting of the tweet on X, that they will follow up with the paperwork. And, if she's earned it, enjoy your money.
All right, then. Okay, so we should take some reactions on this then and see. Hello. Good afternoon.
Hello.
You're welcome. What's your name?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon to your colleagues there.
Sumi is her name.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon.
On this issue of homosexual, I think let's know this is place in Nigeria. Anyone that caught, there's something happened in the U.S. In one place in the U.S. where a man they organized a party and when they are doing homosexual, you go fire all of them. So let us implement capital punishment in Nigeria here. Anyone that caught, God who created Adam and Eve, we have its own purpose. We, men and women, we want to know.
We already have a law. It's not capital punishment, but it calls for 14 years imprisonment.
Okay, let it not be a capital punishment. Anyone that caught, we should enter there and you go.
No, sir. The law says 14 years. Let's leave it at that. Except you and group advocate for something else. You would perhaps want to look at other group of people for that.
Okay. Thank you very much. Let me also, I have not called you when Sister Lady passed away. May her soul continue rest in perfect peace. So we know it's very painful. You people should take heart. It's something that's very touch our heart, but there's nothing we can do. God
Thank you.
Almighty have His own purpose. So sorry, and you are most especially you are SWAT.
Thank you very much.
But,
Thank you.
There's nothing we can do. Sorry.
Thank you very much. We appreciate that.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, my name is Peter. I'm calling from Cuba.
Welcome.
I want to comment on the coming out of 3 nations from ECOWAS. First and foremost, it is always believed and said that if you are a leader, you should lead by example. When this crisis came from Niger, I remember what the comment Judge Wayne made. He said, why these countries are having issues is because the leaders of ECOWAS, they are not leading by example. So, they are saying one thing, they are doing another thing. Okay, look at the elections they are doing in Nigeria. Look at what the INEC is doing. Look at what the judges are doing up to Supreme Court. And you want the serious nations to emulate you. It is not done. They should think twice. If not, the
Thank you very much, Peter.
Hello? Oh dear, can you please call us on our WhatsApp line? Your line is not clear at all. 080-999-30137, or you can call on 080-959-78869. That would be better.
Hello?
Hello?
Good afternoon, Auntie Kim.
Good afternoon, you're welcome.
To you, Auntie Somi.
Good afternoon, welcome.
Yeah, Ebiala the Blacknificent calling from Jahi at the moment.
Welcome.
Well, I just wanted to say a few pertaining to the gay rights movement and the unnecessary attention that it is gaining in countries, Nigeria inclusive. For me, I think we should mature to the point where we are able to allow two mature, consenting adults to do whatever they do behind closed doors and let it be their business. I think there are more important issues, national issues and other issues of security that we should concern ourselves with. If we truly believe in God and we believe Him to be a God of abilities and retribution, I think God is well within His capabilities to deal with those kinds of issues. And I wonder why He would be so concerned about people, two consenting adults, and what they do behind closed doors. So for me, I think we should focus on other important issues. That's just my take.
Thank you very much. But you do understand that the conversation is not a debate as to what we're doing with our legislation, but what the Pope mentioned about Africans, right? Because we already do have a legislation that prohibits it in the country.
Good afternoon, Sister Kim.
Yes, you're welcome.
Good afternoon.
Mr. Pilot, God bless your effort.
Thank you very much. Welcome.
Thank you for bringing up this birthday bash in Grenada to the forefront this today. Sister Kim, at this present time in our national day life, I don't know why people in that aspect of life, are they saying that they are not seeing what is happening in the country? And after doing it, they will go on air to even still be boasting. And to make matter worse, it is being alleged that even in the newspaper that some of our leaders are even there. The governor of Lagos State and some leaders, they are there. And they are even promising to do more in Abuja here. Yeah, if I were to going by what we are passing through, we're going by what people are passing through, and how they are going to paint the image of this country over there. If I were to be the president, I would just go and position security agent officials at the airports. As soon as they are coming, all of them should just line up and bring them to Villa. So you understand me? If you question them, they let the source of food there, and you people are saying that it is their money, they should enjoy it. What sort of money is this? Sister Kim, nobody has sweated and made his money legitimately and go to that extent of throwing a birthday party bash for 1 week and lavishing. No, your own sweat, if you are sweated and your workers have worked for you and you are making cool, your money sweat, you are sweating over it.
So me has something to say to you, sir.
Nobody can do that. I bet
you. There's a saying.
Yes.
There's a saying, and I've come to experience it at one point or the other. It's not just about the fact that you can't tell someone how to spend their money, but even you, if you were in that position, you wouldn't know what you would do with your money until you are in that position.
Yeah.
Yes. The only thing we can say is, the relevant authorities who reached out to say, "Oh, happy birthday, and please make sure you're filing your tax returns." We encourage them, please follow up, make sure you do that. But to say that nobody who works for their money will not spend it the way they want to spend it. However lavish it might be, it's lavish for you. It may not be as lavish for them.
You did not even dent their purse at all. Even though it sounds like you can upset the budget of a state in the country, but it's not that much. For them who have their money, I'm just exaggerating
here. A budget
here.
of a number of states in this country.
Sister Kim.
Sir?
Hello. But does it does it tell good of Nigerians? Does it tell good of the image of Nigeria at this particular point in time? We are shouting, we are complaining, people are kidnapping, people are taking ransom, people are doing this. But look at what people are doing. Is it fair? Is it fair to this nation? Is it fair to the young generations? Is it fair to our leaders who are preaching that they want to fight corruption? But we should face the reality. That woman should be called to question, and those who are associated with her, most especially the Lagos State governor, all of them should be questioned.
All right, thank you very much, sir. The Lagos State governor has come out repeatedly to say they went for something else, and that was not the main reason why they went to Granada.
Just did Mogomo branch.
Yeah, exactly, Mogomo, yeah. Not the Mogomo branch.
All right, hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, welcome.
Thank you for your station for a while, and I'm coming to the issue of...
What's your name, sir?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we didn't get your name. What's your name, please?
Namdi Abana.
Welcome.
Thank you. Coming to the issue of ECOWAS, I think the countries, that is Niger, Togo, and Burkina Faso's withdrawal from the sub-regional body, it's quite unfortunate. You don't withdraw like that, especially when you have an issue to deal with, probably because of the handover to democratic elect government, some of the sanctions imposed on them, they are now bent on bolting out to do their own things. Not that they are about to bolt out, they should also be conscious of the implications. They should be conscious of the sanctions may be imposed on them. Some of them that enjoy electricity from other West African, others, members of the sub-regional body, all these ties could be cut off. So they need to think twice before they take that major step. So that is for ECOWAS. Then for the Pope, I've been listening to the conversation. Every nation has a reason for, establishing or enacting its laws. In Nigeria, what the Pope is projecting, it's not in consonance with our law, it's not in consonance with our culture, it's not in consonance with our religion. Everything that we believe in as a country, the Pope went out, against it. And this is the reason why it has been widely condemned by members of clergy or Nigerian clergy too. For me, what I think is that what the Pope did is a kind of corruption of the church system. So, like the Anglicans.
All right, your network is breaking.
Hello.
In conclusion, sir, we need to run for the news.
The Africans should pull out from Rome and have own Catholic communion. But I've spoken concerning the other Aisha chief gods. Because of time, let me stop at this point. Thank you very much.
More thoughts after the news at the top of the hour. Dorcas is standing by for the news. Let's take a listen.